Red light, green light, red light, green light, red light, green light, red light, green light, red light.
Well, lads and lasses, as always, grab a drink and pull up a chair because it's time for another episode of the Soul Sessions. Of course, with me, as always, your host, Soul. But with me today, well, he's sicker than average, but he's also a multi-time champion, obviously attack champion, No Mercy Wrestling champion, and IWN Z-Force champion as well. Jay Joshua, my friend, welcome.
How's it going, man? How are you?
Pleasure as always, mate. It's good to have you on. Truly is an absolute blessing. Heard so many great things about you from the Welsh scene, so this is an honor, shall we say. But, Jay, as always, as I say, every guest has a story. Every story has a beginning. Jay, how did your story begin as a wrestling fan?
I've always been a fan ever since I was a kid. But the journey to be a wrestler was freaky enough, was an accident.
An accident? How is it an accident?
So I always thought, because of being in Wales, it was so it was a long run or a stretch. So then I remember when I was abroad, and then obviously I was partying and all that stuff, and then I was I was extremely in the influence, if you get me. So then I remember when I phoned my mum at the time, and then on the whim, I haven't watched the pay-per view in so long, and I was like, "Oh, mum, any no chance if you can book SummerSlam on the box office on Sky?" And it was SummerSlam 2016. I came home then, I watched it, because I completely forgot that I asked her if I can watch it. So then I got home on the very first day. I was completely I was tired, I was sunburned and everything, but then I watched AJ and Cena too, and I was I was blown away. And then because of that match alone, I was like, I want to do this. So then I was just searching everywhere, but luckily there was a school in Wales, so I've been doing it ever since.
I mean, I think that's got to be up there with you're on a bender, you're having a great time, the music's going, the vibe is absolutely peak, and your immediate thought is mate, SummerSlam. That's the thing we need to go to, boys. Get that booked on the box.
Random.
You probably your mates were just like, mate, Jay, we got Jaeger bombs, we got tequila shots. You're like, no, son. AJ Styles is about to make his entrance. This is key things we need to focus on.
Mental.
I think that's just the fun thing about wrestling, is that it can really grab you at any time for any medium, whether it's the pay-per-view shows, a live show, video games, or figurines. It has such a vast entry point. And obviously SummerSlam 2016, as you mentioned, really great show. Obviously Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar happened on that match, where Orton was busted open like a watermelon, and he was a hell of a way introduction for that. But I think with SummerSlam as well, it is so special and synonymous with the WWE. Obviously, it's the big four: WrestleMania, Survivor Series, and the Royal Rumble. For you, Jay, what is it about SummerSlam do you think is such an appeal to it? Do you think it truly has cemented itself within the big four category?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because I always seen it as it's the mania of the summer, if you get me. It's only because I've always seen it as don't get me wrong, the Rumble is the kickoff to the journey of Mania, but I always saw SummerSlam as the second one. To me, it's always been the second biggest show in the WWE. It's always had the biggest shows, the biggest venues, the biggest matches, apart from Mania. I've always seen it as the go-to. It's just appeal to me.
Yeah, it's got an amazing appeal as well. Summer, something we don't see here in the UK, so it gives the Americans something enjoyable to enjoy. I mean, if SummerSlam ever came to the UK, I mean, obviously, '98 SummerSlam back in the day at Wembley, but do you think they'd probably call it Autumn Slam or something like that, just because we don't have good summers?
Oh, I know, right? And but then we don't expect in Wales because August is a bit iffy, but then out of at the blue, next month when autumn is kicking in, a heat wave happens, and then I'm I'm in my joggers, I'm in my coat and everything, but then out of like the blue, it's just boom, sun, and I'm like, fuck.
I mean, yeah, I'm in Scotland. We're just known for three things: drinking, fighting, and rain. I mean, it's a trifecta. Yeah, so we do our best with that. But obviously, Jay, you mentioned the Welsh scene. Obviously, Welsh boy. I've interviewed so many from the Welsh scene, and I truly think it's a special scene with its connectivity, so many things going on. For yourself, what is it that you think about the Welsh scene is so appealing to a lot of people with its connectivity, or it's just its camaraderie? What is it you think has the appeal of the Welsh scene?
There's a lot, but I would honestly say, because the country in comparison to England is small, so then the talent is all in one area. So then it makes us look so even better than and it's more than appealing because everyone goes, oh, the Welsh scene, but because the area, as I said, it's not like huge, because it ain't in the UK as a whole, in England, you got the South Law, but then you go all the way to the Midlands, but then you go all the way at the north, and that's massive. And there's just so many. But then in Wales, it's only like half an hour apart. So then all of us are just in one huge bunch. So that, and plus being around all of them the talent level there is just absolutely ridiculous, and it just makes me elevate my game, because knowing I have to keep up with all of them even all the up and comers now. I'm like I was never that good at that age. I was like, whoa. So then it makes me have to step up my game,
No, absolutely, mate. It's always that drive to continue to do more. When new people enter the scene, it's new, fresh faces, new challenges, new battles, new styles. It gives a freshness, and that's the great thing about wrestling, is there's always the element of freshness to it. Now, of course, obviously the Welsh scene, many places, No Mercy Wrestling, New Wave, Chaos, Attack, so many great companies. And I want to know for yourself, Jay, first being obviously introduced to the Welsh scene, what was it like exploring these companies and just seeing the different elements they provide to the scene?
Oh yeah, absolutely. When I actually first came in, it was mainly just Dragon Pro and then Attack in the Welsh scene. And Attack was the one that appealed to me the most, only because they brought all the stars in the UK in general as well. And then and we had a lot of imports at the time who were living in Wales, Aussie Open, ELP. So then I was just blown away by them lot and Pete, and it's just, and Mac, and I was just blown. I was just helping out at those shows. In my head, I was like, this is the goal. I really want to be on Attack so much. And but now all of these other shows in the Welsh scene now, especially New Wave, had the work and the work everyone else has put in, all the wrestlers, and Brendan as well, being in charge of the shows and stuff. He's made it. He's the one who's made Wales at the minute and New Wave a hotbed. Obviously, Borders helped, and Nico and Mac and Brendan and Danny Jones and Danny Luna and all them but Brendan actually took a gamble to run his own school, and he actually put a gamble to run his own shows, and he's made it an absolute hotbed at the minute. The New Wave shows are the place to be at the minute in Wales. It's just so many of the English law. I'll be on other shows, and they will be like, oh yeah, who do I speak to get on New Wave? And I'm like, this is mental, because it's up and down everywhere, and everybody's just asking about New Wave. It's just nuts. It's just absolutely nuts.
It's insane, and I love the growth of what New Wave has done. Obviously, they've had inaugural champions. Obviously, James Ellis won the New Wave Championship. Aluna is the women's champion at the current moment. And as well, there's New Wave Midlands as well, which is another training school as well. And didn't Mercedes Monet rock up as well at one?
Yeah, in Cardiff, in Mark School, out of nowhere. Because I remember I was speaking to Aluna at the time, and she went and she got told by a few of them, and they were like, you never guess who was you. And she was like, who? Mercedes Monet. and all of us were like, huh? That's just so random. It's just nuts.
I think that just shows the true joy of it, that you never know who's going to walk in the door and pass on their knowledge, and that's the true great thing. And obviously, Mark Andrews I've had on before, Danny Luna and Flasberg Webster have all been on this show, the trifecta known as subculture. And I would love for your input on this, Jay. Where do you think subculture's mark is within the wrestling history in Wales?
Oh yeah, it's huge, because just for like before that they actually became a faction, like all of them on their own made like a huge like dent in the Welsh like scene. They made a massive impact on it, and but then they became all one. It became even bigger because then they smashed it on TNA, and then Danny's actually still doing her thing there and stuff, and sub culture are smashing it elsewhere too. So it's just mad, because I would say on the TNA aspect as well, it's helped put Wales on the map as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely, indeed. And I think what's fascinating is obviously with Danny, obviously two-time TNA Knockout Tag Team Champion, Hard to Kill Ultimate X. She's truly absolutely killing it. Do you think whoever Welsh women wrestlers you think are ready to now step up and could maybe get a great showcase like what Danny's getting with TNA?
Oh yeah, because she actually helps them out a lot, and she's the bad at the minute. So then all the women I know are seeing her as to be like, I want to be where she's at, and I want to be as good as her, because to me she is not only the best in the UK, but she might be it ain't no doubt she is the best in Europe, and she is arguably, I would say, top 10 in the world at the minute. She's just on another level. Honestly, she is absolutely brilliant. Honestly, unreal.
Hey, all I want is her versus Master Slamovich, TNA Knockouts champion. Maybe a UK show. I mean, come on.
Oh, I know, right?
We're a greedy bunch, but we like to have some good stuff going around. And I know, Jay, you have some good stuff going on because you were an inaugural champion for No Mercy. You were their inaugural No Mercy Wrestling champion, which is, hey, congratulations, sons. But how does it feel to have an inaugural championship status in your record?
Oh, I know, right? But to be no fair, it only took me a few months ago to actually know what that word actually meant. But I was like, oh, it means the first. Oh, cool. and yeah, it was cool because those shows actually meant a lot, only because they actually put their faith in me. So then to headline line all their shows. So then it was a huge help in my game as a wrestler as well.
Hey, absolutely, man, as well. And obviously, you mentioned your love for Attack, and you were a former Attack champion as well. For see a place that you idolized, and then to get to be the big dog and represent it as their champion, is it a very out of body experience when you get that accolade?
Oh yeah. I as soon as I knew I was gonna get that strap, I actually felt like it was a prank, because I was like, nah, no way, because all of the names I seen had that belt when I was helping out at those shows in Gates on the sideline and stuff, and just having to watch it, just all these people having the belts and stuff, and I was like, I'm getting that belt. I was like, whoa. And the fact that Attack actually put their faith in me to as I said about No Mercy headline them, but then me actually doing all the stuff in No Mercy helped my confidence then, because then at Attack I knew I was ready. But them actually putting all their faith in me helped me elevate as a wrestler from here until there. Especially all the talent I was working with. I was just grateful I get to work all of those guys,
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's quite a beautiful looking belt as well. Lovely purple. Purple's needed more in wrestling. Come on, we have too many blacks.
Facts, I know.
Just add a bit of creativity, boys. Come on. I mean, black is nice. It's original. It's the OG, but a bit of purple there now again, or even some yellow. Add some finesse to it. So I need to know, Jay, what's your? Obviously, I think it's the Attack belt, but what's your favorite championship you've held?
Yeah, that is the attack belt. It isn't even close. But like no, at the best belt I will like hold hasn't even happened yet. So hasn't happened.
Oh, all right, fair play, fair play. But I mean, you've had quite a busy year as well. You've made your debut for over 21 companies this year as well, so you've been on a roll.
I know, right? It is the best year of my wrestling life so far. So it's just absolutely bonkers. I'm grateful for like all the opportunities I've been given so far. Anyway, so it's just hopefully like next year's one is even better.
I'm sure it's going to be keeping that train going because I need to talk about a few of them. Obviously, you made your debut for Riot Cabaret. James Lawrence has been on the show before. It was you against Tate Mayfair's. Obviously, you lost, but still, I would love for you to just, for people who may not know or have not seen that episode, the environment of Riot Cabaret. I feel like it's truly something special. Just to describe the environment of that place, my friend.
Unreal, absolutely unreal. It leaves you speechless because it's the venue, the fans, at the talent level in there, and like how they run all their like shows, but mainly just the fans as well. The fans are bonkers because like London is just mental, and the fact that it's like there as well, like at that venue, it's just like every time I go in there, like now I'm always speechless. I'm like, how can they afford this venue? Because it's just so nice. And I'm like, whoa, it's just mental, absolutely mental.
I love it. The Clapping Grand is just truly a atmospheric place, and that adds to the shows as well. And of course, we actually met there for the first time at the show during All In Weekend, and it was a blast of a show. We obviously saw the Welsh boy prevail. Mark Andrews became the Riot Cabaret champion, and don't know why people were being mad about it. I mean, hey, I think Mark was great. That's whatever the Riot Cabaret universe they can think, but he is the champion. He's representing the old brand there. But just your thoughts on that main event match, because it was quite a stellar match.
Unreal. It was the first time in a while where I watched a show as a proper fan, and like I was just going nuts, and like I actually thought that Nico was gonna win, and I recorded so many of the possible endings of it because I was like, oh my god, and my mate's gonna win this, and but then it didn't happen. The match was unreal, but the show itself was just class. I'm watching like Leon again against Sawyer as well. I was like, again, really?
Yeah.
It's too good. Honestly, like all of the every match in there was just enjoyable, and it was unique and diverse as well. That's what I like about the Riot shows. It's just all like each match is just unique.
Yeah, as well, because they didn't have like a full count area match that was like pretty much half the show.
It was my favorite match of the weekend. It's my favorite match of the weekend. Forget about your Bryans and your Swerves. That match was my favorite. Honestly, it was just it was so funny. I genuinely thought though at the very ending, like as they were wrestling on the boat, I actually thought that Amira was gonna get pushed off the boat, and Cassius actually comes in the venue and he's celebrating, but then Amira comes in soaking wet with a lifeline jacket on, and then just goes at it. I really wish that would have happened. That would have been so funny. That would have been absolutely hysterical.
Cassius Amira, once in a lifetime. Do the sequel, Riot Cabaret. Come on, get that done.
Facts.
But obviously, that whole weekend was just generally a lot of fun. Obviously, I know Hustle and Attack, and I believe North did a freeway show as well. And I know you were on it as well, weren't you?
Yes, I was in the main event of the Attack show against Mills. So, and that's been my favorite match of the year so far, because it's just because me and Mills had the mentality of going in there and just trying to tear the house down, and the fact that we had a standing O afterwards, especially at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, knowing on that day it was going to be a very, very long day of wrestling, and we were just humbled afterwards. It was like, whoa, absolutely mental that match was. I enjoyed every minute of that.
Yeah, stellar match indeed, my friend, as well. And just that whole weekend as well. And obviously getting the crowning victory moment of seeing Bryan Danielson win the AEW World Championship off Swerve Strickland, a highlight of the absolute night. But for me personally, I loved seeing Nigel McGuinness return.
I felt like crying. I genuinely felt like crying. Like, honestly, it was just the fact that like he came out and it didn't look like he missed a beat either. I was just like, and plus I really, really hope like he's not actually done. I still hope that he can still wrestle like every now and then, depending on who he has, because Nigel was a huge influence on me as a teenager. Because as a teenager, like I said, even though I was never like I never thought I had a chance to be like a wrestler. But as a teenager, I was watching TNA, ROH, but then ROH, I was watching Nigel at the time, and the fact that like a Brit was like at the top of that brand, I was just blown away. And plus, like the moves he was doing, and I was like, because so many people actually imitate his move set now. It just shows the impact he has on the UK scene.
Absolutely, he's an influential man, absolutely, for UK wrestling. But I mean, Jay, Forbidden Door coming next year. Maybe he could make an appearance again. I mean,
I hope so.
Is there a particular, if you could book it, fantasy booking, who could you pick from New Japan to face Nigel McGuinness on Forbidden Door?
Zach, easily Zach. For that strap as well, Zach, easy. In Wembley, the main event, Zach against Nigel McGuinness. Oh, do you imagine? Oh, we did see like a little bit of a glimpse of it as well in that match as well. So hopefully, I'm praying.
I mean, we did. I mean, who knows? Maybe stars can align. Maybe Oasis could play Nigel to the ring, and that could be like one of their touring tickets. And then it's like, oh, you get another chance to see him.
Do you imagine? Oh, don't. Oh my god.
You can't fancy book Jake. We'll end up getting too hyped and then disappointed when it's just an MP4 track. We're like, we gotta limit the limitations. But I feel like as well, if it was Nigel McGuinness versus Zack Sabre Jr. for that IWGP Heavyweight Championship at Forbidden Door, I feel like there would be no better match for somebody to look at from America or Japan or Spain or France. I'm like, this is British wrestling, because it personifies what it is. It's the technical aspects, the hard-hitting style from an old generation and the new. Would you feel like if that match does take place, it would be the key British wrestling standard match?
Yeah, I actually feel like it would be the full circle of British wrestling, because it will come around and like it'll be like in England, in Wembley, and two of arguably the best British wrestlers who's never been in the WWE. I have to give it to Zach as well. The fact that like he stuck to his style ever since he began as a wrestler, and even when he was going to Japan and America, and he still kept on doing it, and I actually feel like it's made like a lot of the foreigners try and use that style now, because I've seen so many Americans do it now, and it just shows the impact that our ways and our style has become now. It's become a go-to now as a wrestler.
100%. It just shows the UK has that element and identity that a lot of people want to come and study for, whether it's places like New Wave or want to go up to Scotland or anything. They can get that opportunity to learn a style that is not universally taught worldwide, and that's just the beauty of professional wrestling. It has its elements and contrasts within the world. But obviously as well, Jay, you've been quite a busy boy as well, as we mentioned, but one place you did make your debut for a company of, you made your Rev Pro debut this year as well.
I know, right? Mental, absolutely mental. I actually got asked to be on at the last minute, and I did not expect it. Because I got asked, but then in my head I was like, it's not official yet until it's announced. I'm like, no. It got announced, and then I was like, oh, this is actually happening. And I actually thought it was just going to be a one and done. in my mind, I thought, oh, I will just use this as the exposure I need and stuff. And but then I've been lucky enough to keep getting asked like no back on like every single show like no since. So I've just been lucky, honestly. I have.
Yeah, you've been truly blessed, man. And I know you've faced some crazy opponents there as well. One obviously I have to go over is Luke Jacobs, who is currently the Progress and Rev Pro undisputed heavyweight champion. Obviously, wasn't a title match, but still the opportunity to face somebody who's considered really the top dog of really English wrestling. Nerves for that match, I can imagine?
Not really, no. Only because I knew I was going up against not really the top dog in the UK, the top dog in Europe, I would say, at the minute, because he holds two of the biggest belts in Europe right now at the same time. But me and Luke have had a good history in the past anyway. And but I just know next year I will get that match for the belt, and I got a feeling I will, and I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna use every work I put in just so I can have that match for the belt in a main event, because that's all I want.
Hey, Jay, all I ask is when you do become Rev Pro champion, I can immediately just slide into the DMs and I'm just like, come back on, please come back on. How much do you want? I give you crypto, dollars. I'll give you anything I can just to have you back on, man. I've got the Progress replica behind me. I think that was pretty good around your waist as well. But hey, it just shows work that grind. You'll get rewarded in the future. Now, Jay, I need to talk about a particular matchup as well. Rev Pro Global Wars. Right, you, Connor Mills, Gabe Kidd versus Zazawa, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Leon Slater. Right, that's a fucking mashup right there. But Tanahashi, somebody so integral to New Japan. Obviously, he's the president right now, and just his element, his presence, the ace. He literally is that. And a lot of people idolize him for that in New Japan wrestling. But to get to face him in a ring, like, I'm a fan. I just get to be like, yeah, go Ace, go Ace. You're literally like, oh, fuck, it's Ace. It's like, just your thoughts on facing Tanahashi in a match.
It still feels really... It feels like it's not real. Because the fact that, I would never... Because, as I said, I watched a lot of the ROH and TNA, but I also watched New Japan. But I watched, New Japan from 2013, but then obviously as I went on, I watched all the past ones. But the fact that I used to watch Hiroshi Tanahashi as well, and the fact that I would never thought in my wrestling, I would never thought I would be in a match with him. Yeah, alone, actually being in the ring face to face with him. I just thought it was wrestling wise, that is the best day of my life, and it's not even close. I'm extremely grateful that they actually put their faith in me to give me a match and that. Unreal.
I think it just shows how good you are and that people have that trust in you for what you can present in the ring. You are a trusted man. To have a caliber match, always that's 3-on-3 with Tanahashi in the fucking ring. You fucking got it, son. You got it, man.
Tanahashi, it sounds mental, because I remember when I got home as well, and I couldn't sleep, only because in my mind I was like, this is not real. I was like, I had a Hiroshi Tanahashi. What the fuck? It's just I was like, what? And but taking away the kayfabe aspect of it as well, the fact that at the back he actually said I was very, very good, and that was the cherry on the top. The fact that he actually thought I was very, very good, and he actually thinks I'm very, very good. I was like, oh wow, no way. It was just I actually felt like I was gonna break down and cry, because I had to go outside and then just take a few minutes, because I was whoa, this is real now. I was like, this is mental.
Hey, I think you just need some Go J shirts produced so you can get that royalty and get that money.
One day.
One day, mate. One day. Also, I do want your thoughts as well, because obviously Tanahashi has announced that next year will be his retirement year, going into next year, the year after is Wrestle Kingdom. Just your thoughts on Tanahashi going into his final year as a professional wrestler.
Oh, knowing him, he'll go out with a bang, no matter what, and no matter who he will have as well. Because already now he's gonna have it's him and Kenny against the Young Bucks, and that is not his last match either. That is the very first match of his official year of the tour, and it's just and it's gonna be a sad day on his last match, and but everybody should be happy knowing he actually saved the company on it, because there was a period where it was going nowhere, and but then they actually put their faith in him as the ace, and then he actually put them back on the map, and he didn't really just put them back on the map, he helped elevate it as well. So that, and then all the other ones came along, like Okada and your Nakamura's and your Ibushi and Kenny Omega came along and stuff. But then he was the one who built it. He was the foundation of what New Japan is now. So even though it'll be a sad day on his last match, at the same time, everybody should be happy knowing he was there.
Yeah, of course, his presence will never ever truly be forgotten, even within Japanese pro wrestling and outside of it. The man's an element. He's produced so much. People love him so much, and he's going to be remembered for his in-ring career no matter what. But I would love to obviously know, Jay, any individuals that you particularly like to see Tanahashi face in his final year? Forbidden Door, blow the hinges off, WWE, AEW, TNA, Noah, All Japan, Rev Pro, Progress, New Wave, anything. Is there any particular matchups you love to see for Tanahashi?
I know they've gone against each other a few times, but I want him to bring back him and Okada again, because that feud alone actually, as I said, he was the one who put them on the map. That feud, those matches they had in those first few years was just it actually made New Japan as the go-to of what the standard of wrestling was at that time. I really want to see him and Okada one more time. But obviously, I want to on a British aspect, I want to see him and Gabe go at it, because Gabe is just unreal at the minute. Gabe is just a beast, and the fact that he kept on calling him a bitch and an old no bitch, and he's not my boss and all that shit. It would all those any match that he will have, you just know it's gonna be a big one. So anybody, honestly, anybody, but Okada is the main one for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be very, very special. I mean, whatever titles on the line, if they need to be included, but I think just seeing these two face off against one another for final time, Tokyo Dome, no matter what, would be an encapsulation on the past decade of New Japan Pro Wrestling for what these two have done for the company, and it's going to be truly special. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll try and fly out to Japan and try and see the Tokyo Dome once. Maybe.
You know you want to now. Go on.
I just need to see the place that Meltzer likes for all his 5 stars. I just need to see why he likes it so much. Is the architect? Is it the coloring? Why does he like the place? Why is it all the 5 stars? I mean, hey, it might be a beautiful building, might be that, but I think that'd be really fun. I mean, Japan on your bucket list to wrestle? Maybe Noah, New Japan.
It is the main one. The Dome and New Japan is the go-to for me. Japan is the goal, and Japan is the goal, but New Japan is the place I want to be, and it always have been ever since I began, because I was just blown away by the style and the brand as well. And even now, I'm still I want to go a New Japan, and I want to wrestle for New Japan, and even if there is hopefully a chance to do it at Crystal Palace next year at Royal Quest, hopefully at the fact that I could step into the ring on that brand, hopefully it could be a possible dream one day.
Absolutely. And dreams are great things to focus on because they drive us. They drive us to continue on and get the goal that we want to accomplish, and allows us to put the visual aspect of something we can imagine into a physical aspect. And I know one way wrestlers do that is obviously through merch. And you've got some stylish merch, my friend. I mean, particularly one that has you on a crown throne with a crown, two dogs outside, sicker than your average. I mean, right, give me the details. What's the imagery behind what did you conjure up in your mind and thought, this is a shirt, this is the design I want?
Funny enough, as a plug, the shirts are out now as well.
Oh.
So then I finally actually got them, and I've always been a dog man anyway, because I got two staffs of my own, and but back in the day I had a few dogs as well. I've always just loved the aspects of dogs. It's just the amount of scars that I got only because I just play and with them too much, and I've and the crown aspect as well because of the album of Biggie Smalls, and if you can see it right there, you got the crown right there, and it's tilted. So then I've always been a fan of that, and so then I went to an artist who is Hungarian, and he actually did Mills's merch as well. So then I was like, this artist is unreal. So then I asked him about the idea that I want, and then he was like, say less. So then he just did it for me. So then I was just blown away by how good it was. Honestly, absolutely unbelievable. But it is out now as well. It's out now.
Well, people definitely get some lovely jazzily shirts you can wear around to festivals and whatever, because it's a damn beautiful piece. I think it just speaks so well is that, wrestling has the rivalries, but sometimes there's other rivalries. And I think, people have gone, oh, Swerve and Hangman's rivalry of the year. Some people have gone, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre's rivalry of the year. I mean, I think it's Drake and Kendrick Lamar is the actual true rivalry of the year. I mean, I digress. Do you think it's truly the greatest rivalry of the year, Kendrick Lamar versus Drake? I mean, it's got to be, right?
Yeah. It actually put the rap game on the map as well. So then to be fair, we're not sure if it's actually authentic or not, but because I have a belief that a few of the feuds I always felt like it's just not authentic. It's just trying to elevate each other to put them on the map and to people talk about you. But then, however, it could be authentic because Kendrick's last two tracks about Drake, I doubt if that was rehearsed or played along, or scripted, because he violated that man. And I was like, he absolutely violated. But he didn't just do it once. He dropped it a few days later as well. And then I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Because it was like he killed him, but then he brought out on the shovel and he dug even deeper and deeper, and then he just put him 6 feet under. Honestly, it was just I don't know how Drake is gonna come back from that. Because because I'm pretty sure he's making music now and he's going to, but he's not really going to. He's not going back at Kendrick now because he knows that there's just no point. I've lost this. It's just a KO. It's just
I mean, Meet the Grahams. Meet the Grahams is just it's like a war. It's like war. You're literally listening to the cries of war. It's.
It was the fact that he made the first one of Me the Grahams. He made it sad and depressing stuff, but then lyrics wise, and the second one is just as bad, but he's made it more upbeat, and it's become a club song.
Yeah, because did he not do a concert in LA where he played it 6 fucking times?
He did, yeah, and Dr. Dre was there too.
Jesus Christ. I mean, it's also nominated for a Grammy as well, Not Like Us, which is just truly phenomenal. What do you think it would be for the concept of rap music and the diss tracks genre if Not Like Us could win Best Song of the Year? Would it be a revolutionary thing?
I don't think it's going to win the Best Song of the Year, to be fair.
You think it's Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter and everyone's going to be like, yeah, that's...
It will probably, yeah. Only because, not many of the truly songs of the years like no, actually the songs of the years. I don't really take much notice of the Grammys only because I always feel like there's like a commercial aspect of like who they like. It's
Mm.
like to me, I always feel like on music is the impact that you leave anyway. Even if you don't get any awards, as long as people are talking about you and that one like no song or a few like songs, that's what matters the most. I would like no say as an artist.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's no matter what, if a song connects with people and people listen to it and feel joy or they feel an emotion or a story in their mind, the song's done its job. It's the connectivity aspect of the music that connects with the listener. Then you've made an amazing hit song. No matter if it wins awards or not, you've got a connection with people. That's music. And that's it at the end of the day. And I know music's important with wrestling as well. So there's so many great entrance themes. I mean, for your Jay, what's kind of your favorite wrestling entrance theme songs that you think really connect?
There's so many, and if I've got to be biased, I do like mine. Biggie Smalls, Hypnotize, but there's so many now, and if the one like no now I'm addicted to the most, and I've said his name a few times now, is Mills's theme, because and the chant of just the crowd just chanting Mills, like, and it's like he's just made it into like a banger now, and it's just it's cool. But Nico's one I do like as well. Nico's one is badass, absolutely badass, because it suits him. Because you think of that like no song, you automatically just think of Nico, and like. But there's so many good ones as well. Like even in like the custom mades in the WWE, I've always been a fan of like Randy Orton's one as well, and like Shinsuke I've always loved as well, because it's just because his first one, because it wasn't any words and it was just like it was violin aspect, and like it was just him, and then I was just blown away by his entrance alone anyway. But the one entrance that I do love though as well, but it only happened once, was when it was Billy Gunn's kids and they came out to Many Men. And I actually thought that was the coldest entrance I've ever seen, because it was just so badass.
I remember I was in LA when it was WrestleMania 39 and Dynamite was on the Wednesday, and I was in the airport with my mates. We were watching it around in like the little terminal and all that. And when that entrance hit, my mate stood up and just went, "Oh no, they've not done that. They've not done that, have they?" And he was walking around and pacing. I was like, "You okay, mate?" He's like, "Ah, they've not just done that, have they? They've not just done that." I was like, "Yeah, I think they have, son. I think they have." That's just the absolute fun creativity of music with wrestling, and you got to love it. But of course, we spoke briefly about the WWE there. They've announced there's obviously a Road to WrestleMania Europe tour where we're going to get Raws and SmackDown tapings in the UK and other countries. But some people have thought, oh, does this mean we're not getting a PLE this year? No Clash at the Castle free or nothing like that. So I want to propose to yourself, if we could get a PLE, that's obviously not been announced, like something like obviously Royal Rumble's been announced for America, as long as Elimination Chamber and SummerSlam. Is there a particular type you would love to see come to the UK?
I can't really think. As long as it's back in Wales again, I'll be happy. Because that event was special. It was just mental, honestly, crazy. And it actually put the Welsh scene even more on the map as well.
Hey, absolutely. And I think that's truly special. I mean, Welsh wrestling's alive as always, and it's kicking on full gears right now, and you're going to be right in the center of it, dominating wherever you go, my friend. But Jay, Joshua, my friend, my mate, it's been a pleasure having you here on the Soul Session. I know you're a very busy man, and you're going to be in demand in a couple of hours, so we'll wrap up here. But before we go, one final question. The year's nearly over. 2024 is nearly done. Time's moving very fucking quick. Jesus Christ. But I'd love to know, what are some goals you want to accomplish in 2025?
I want so mainly on Rev, I want the copper box, and hopefully I can be on your call as well. But the biggest goal is to, and I say this every year, is to get a better year than my previous year, because each year now is just keeps on getting better and better. But then I want my next year to always be better than my 2024. That's my goal. So,
hey, I'm sure, mate, wherever you step into the ring, whether it's back at Rev Pro or a new playing ground, everyone's going to know that you're sicker than average, and they will say less, my friend. But that's it, brother. That is it indeed. Well, folks, if you have loved what you've heard here on this episode of the Soul Sessions, I will put a link to Jay Joshua's Instagram down below. Click it, follow him, see his journey, and also get his amazing merch, which is out now and available. It's displayed on his Instagram page. Pick yourself up a shirt, folks. Well, folks, finish up your drinks, put your chairs away, and thank you as always for tuning in for another episode of the Soul Sessions.
Now I'm out there human too. Gonna live like animals do. No more love and no more